Hello, everyone. How are we all doing today? I'm waiting for our responses in the chat. Hi, Prince.
Hi, Oluwatobi. Good evening.
Good evening to you too, my brother. Good evening. Welcome. Hi, Arafat. Hi, Steve. I see that Philip is also saying hello in the chat. I believe. Oh, yes. Yeah, Peter. Sorry, I thought it was Philip. I read out. Hi. Sorry, hi, phone. You would have to give me a name to call you by. I can't call you iPhone. That's not your name. All right. Amazing. Welcome, everyone. It's awesome to have you all in today's session. We are all excited to get into it. We believe that the beauty of any level of understanding of any training is being able to understand the little bits, the foundational parts, the basic parts that lead to the more complicated parts of whatever phase you want to be within your journey. Now, let us start by getting to know each other better. My name is Oluwatobi Okafor. I have with me my wonderful colleague Prince. So I'd like us to please drop our names, where we're joining us from, and anything you'd like us to know in the chat box. Okay. Okay, amazing. Right. All right. Hi, Savior. It's amazing to meet you. Hi, Peter from Ghana. Oh, Savior, you're from Ghana too. How do they say it? Is it Asante? I'm not sure it's Asante, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Well, welcome. Okay, it's Akwaba. Yes, it's Akwaba. Don't mind me. I'm a bush Nigerian. Hi, Dorcas from Lagos. Hi, Peter from Ghana. It's nice to have you all on this session. I'm excited to walk with us through this course. Hi, Mofe. Hi, Mofe from the UK. Amazing. I'm excited to walk with us. Nice. I hope we're all as excited as I am to learn this particular short course we're going to be working with today. Right? Nice. Hi Zainab. Hi Zainab from the UK. I love your flag though. I cannot figure out how you did that, but you will teach me. Welcome everybody. It's amazing to have us all here. Let us get into today's session and so that we can learn as much as possible on the session today. All right, great. But before we go into what we're here to learn, because we already know we are here to figure out or understand how we will typically build a home network using packet tracer, especially if you're a newbie in cybersecurity, which is one of the things we teach you in analytics, which is one of the things that we encourage you to do. You build by yourself. We teach you how to build. We teach you the basics of why you are building. You understand the why, you understand the how, you understand the what, so that you're not just building blindly, right? And you are even able to you're able to relate it with your real, everything you do in your daily life and your real life and all of that, right? And your real journey, right? Great. So let's get into it. Okay. I'd like to introduce us real quick before we go further in this session. I believe we all know that we at Analytics are the leading edtech company, and we actually focus on specialized training in technology and giving us skills and helping our participants to understand as comprehensively as possible every single aspect of whatever skill they choose to specialize in. We have over 4 years experience, 4 years of work, 4 years of reputation in building talents across the technological workforce. We have helped over 2,000, I think we're currently almost at 3,000, if not above 3,000 right now, right? People that we have helped transition from the classroom into their first job in tech across the UK, the US, Canada, Europe, Africa, Asia, you name a country. I believe we have somebody there that has passed through our trainings and has aced it and gone on to get a job, right? We are excellent at what we do, so we know what we are saying. Okay, we're committed to making technology a very accessible sector to everyone that tries to get in or that wants to get in. We specialize in data analytics, business analysis, cybersecurity, financial analytics, HR analytics, you name it, we can provide you the training for it, right? And we have amazing, amazing instructors. We do not have anyone in our team that is not a force to behold in their field, right? Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Now, let me quickly introduce myself and then go ahead and introduce my colleague. All right? Great. Like I told you before, my name is Oluwatobi Okafor. I am an ISA2 member. I have my certifications in with the Cisco CCNA. I have the CNSP. I have the CAP. I have a number of certifications that make me one of the most sought after information security analysts in the current cybersecurity field, right? I'm not boasting. I'm just telling you facts, okay? Because like, cyber analytics does not employ just anybody. They go for the absolute best in every tech field they can find. Okay, so enough about me. Let us look at my colleague and an amazing human, very excellent at his job and very, very amazing to work with. I'm talking about none other than Prince. I call him Prince. His official government name is Muideen Adeakoni. Muideen has a wealth of experience. He's an awesome data analytics and business intelligence analyst. It sounds like a lot, right? But it is exactly how good this colleague of mine is. And he has helped a lot of organizations streamline their operations and helped them to align with strategic goals. He has mentored and helped over 500 people. He's the person you want to call when you need clarity, when you need direction, when you need somebody to help you see clearly in your tech journey. His expertise spans over innovation and growth. It also includes him being a business development manager. He also worked as a data analyst and a management and data analytics consultant. He has worked in different sectors. I'm talking health tech, finance, logistics, FMCG, health tech, and currently with us, right? We won, right? Don't you think? We won. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, thank you. All right, so why are we here today? Why exactly are we come together today? We have come here today because first and foremost, we want to understand networking as newbies in cybersecurity. And then we want to practicalize what we are trying to understand by going ahead to build a home network with Packet Tracer, with Cisco's Packet Tracer. And then when we're done doing that, we're going to talk about analytics strategic plan to help you secure an amazing job in cybersecurity. And the best part of it is that Tenatics, you trust us now. We always come with a discount to bless your day. Okay, great, amazing. Okay, now before we get into it, I'd like to ask, why does any of us think whenever you hear about cybersecurity, somebody's telling you, oh, you need to understand the fundamentals, you need to understand networks, you need to understand networking. And it seems like, oh, they're talking too much. Maybe they're just saying it to make it what's the word now? Enjoyable to the ears or something like that. And you wonder to yourself, okay, we've said that you need to understand networking and all of that, but let us take it back just a little, right? And like any of us, I'm talking Zaina, Peter, Mofe, I'm talking to I think I have your name. I don't want to call you iPhone. And I know you gave me your name, so I'm trying not to call you iPhone. Yes, Savior. Yes. I'm talking to Savior. I'm talking to Dorcas. I'm talking to every one of us on this call. I'd like us to tell me what you think, in your own words, what cybersecurity is, right? I'd like to hear your own understanding of cybersecurity. I'm waiting. Okay. Nice. Thank you, Esther. Thank you. I'm liking this. Stopping people from scamming me. That's actually the simplest truth. That's the simplest truth. Because once I can stop somebody from scamming me, I have secured my cyberspace. That's as simple as that. Thank you, Esther. Thank you. Nice. Ooh, thank you, Dorcas. This is exciting. Yeah, protecting of data systems and data. Yes. Buffet says it's protecting your data from malicious intent. Amazing, amazing. Yes, Esther. Esther is hot for us tonight. I'm happy. Protecting valuable information. Yes. That's true. Savior says data protection. I love that. That is very precise. That's very concise. It's straight to the point and everything. But do we know that if you don't understand how data is, what's what I'm looking for now? If you don't understand how data is moved across the interconnected web, we might not really understand how to even go ahead to protect that data. Have we thought about that? I hope we have, because that is exactly why networking is considered one of the most fundamental concepts or realities of cybersecurity, right? Because in cybersecurity, networking is basically the practices and the technologies that we use to protect computer networks and the data that they carry. Remember, Xavier said data protection. Everybody is saying data protecting valuable information, protecting systems and data. But if you don't understand how you move them around and the technology they're going to be using, then how do you even go ahead to protect that data? Am I right? Great. Now, because the thing about it is that these technologies actually help you to prevent whatever data that you're carrying from unauthorized access, misuse, or damage. Okay. So when we're talking about networking, we're talking about all the infrastructure, the data transmission, so both the hardware and the software, and all the end devices. So I'm talking about your laptops, your phones, your tablets, those things that you use to connect that allows your data to be transmitted across the internet. All right. Now, for you to have what we call effective networking in cybersecurity, you need to understand that there are always going to be these three things we call the pillars of cybersecurity, which is confidentiality of your data, integrity of the data that you are sending or you are saying or storing, as well as the availability of the data when whoever is supposed to access it needs it. Okay, now we have a number of components. We call them the key components of networking. Okay, we're talking about IP addressing. That is, how do we identify your device on the interweb? How do we know it is you that is talking to me? Right? That's what we call IP address. That's how you get your IP address. So when you say, oh, I'm trying to send a message to Google, but it's not going. It's not like it's not going. It's that at that point in time, you are not able to talk to the address at which Google says they currently are at. Okay. Now, we also have what we call protocols. That protocols are like the rules and regulations of how you communicate. So in networking, we have things like the TCP/IP, we have the HTTP and HTTPS, and we have the DNS. These are basically, for TCP/IP, we're talking about exactly how securely data is transferred across the internet. HTTP is the backbone through which you do that transfer across the internet. And then DNS, like the domain name server or service, which is basically what tells you where you are sending your information to. So if you don't have like the yellow book of the internet, basically. So if I don't have Prince's name, for instance, and I don't have his address, I cannot send Prince any letter, any message, any information. That is basically what protocols are about. They're the ones that create the rules and regulations of how I will be able to talk easily to Muhyiddin without a Prince, without being in his own actual house or actual location, right? Then we have the ports and services that are the entry points through which we send and receive communication. And then we have routing, we have switching, and so much more. I promise you, when you join the cybersecurity program, you will learn all of these things. It will be actually fun. It will be exciting when you are listening. It's like, wait, you mean this is exactly how my device is communicating? It sounds like fun, does it not? Actually, I know it is fun, and I know you are already having fun hearing about these things, right? Great. Now, before we even go too far, why do we keep saying networking is important, is important, is important? First and foremost, remember we said it before that cybersecurity is at the fundamentals, at the basics. The goal is to protect data, whether the data is in motion, whether it is at rest, whether it is stored, right? And we need to also remember that networking is the medium or is the way through which we actually communicate, and it's also the way through which those attacks, the threats we're talking about, the one that Esther said, oh, I don't want anybody to scam me, is that same networking, that's the same route through which these cyber threats are delivered to our address or our doorstep, right? And now, why do we keep saying networking is important? First and foremost, I need us to understand that with networking, we're able to understand the structure of our environment so that we're able to identify, okay, where do I have vulnerabilities? Where is the weakness? Where do I have a weakness in my structure? Is my front door, do I have proper locks on my front door? Am I using the current key? Have I changed my padlock from the old one that can be pulled open into the one that you need a passcode to open? And all of that, right? It helps you to understand what we call the attack surface area. Okay, it gives you an awareness of how susceptible to attacks you are. Also, it helps you to look at where you have not properly configured your network or where you have used the wrong services, okay, that attackers can take advantage of and use against you. Okay, now another thing that networking helps us to do is what we call threat detection. And what I mean by this is that it is basically allowing you to monitor and detect for anomalies. I think anomalies is the correct word, right? When you have abnormal behavior in your environment, you have untoward behavior in your environment, because you have proper network configuration, you have your network in order, your structure is proper, you are able to monitor and immediately notice when there's unusual traffic pattern. When somebody is trying to log into your bank app at 3 a.m. your time, when you know that normally you are sleeping, right? Or when somebody is trying to use your what's it called, your pass key to access maybe your workstation, when you know that you are on holiday and automatically your workstation should not even be accessed at that point in time. But because you have proper network configuration, you are monitoring it properly, you are able to detect on time when these kind of things are about to happen, right? And then you can even use tools like firewalls, like intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems, and what we call SIEM, which is a security, incident, and event management platform or tool to help you understand and monitor your network without you having to directly and physically interact with the network traffic, right? You see how amazing networking is, right? Then it also helps you with what we call incident response. So like the name says, like I like to tell everybody, cybersecurity does not use difficult names to explain concepts, because it is the name I am calling it that it actually is. If an incident happens, how do we respond to it? Networking helps you to do that, because when you understand what's going on in your network, you can actually trace the source, yeah, of whatever incident is happening or has happened. You can contain the spread, and then you can fix that issue immediately. When you are seeing the traffic passing, you are seeing the packets, you are able to look at it and say, wait, I'm seeing that Peter signed out of his workstation at 5 p.m. GMT, but somebody used Peter's credentials to relog in at 9 p.m. GMT. How? Do you understand? That is where you are able to go ahead and do log analysis and understand, okay, this is how this incident happened, right? And then another thing we also have is what we call secure configuration. Now, in networking, you want to be able to reduce how attackers or how much information attackers can take out of your space, right? And how are you going to be able to do that? By properly configuring your network. You can do that by what we call segmentation. You can do that by using VPNs. I'm sure that we've heard of adverts like NordVPN or Kaspersky Firewall comes with VPNs. I'm sure we've heard of all these adverts on YouTube when we're watching a YouTube video or something, right? We've heard of firewalls too, right? I'm sure that we in past, you heard someone say, oh, you better go and install a firewall on your laptop before somebody will attack it. These are some of the ways that networking allows us to properly reduce the risk of attackers doing absolute damage within our network environment. Okay, and then the best part of networking is that you can use the knowledge you have gained from it to properly analyze and penetration test an environment and find problems within the environment for your organization and help them use what knowledge you have gained to fix the problems before real attackers would come and use those problems against them. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know what networking is, you can literally not understand what is going on with your data, talk less of understanding how your data is flowing, how your systems are interacting, and where the weaknesses are in the environment. So it's like the foundation upon which we have our cyber threats launched, but it's also the same place we go when we want to defend against cyber threats. Okay, I hope we have understood a little bit of why networking is important in cybersecurity. Do I have a yes? Do I have a true that? I like responses, please. I believe we have understood a little bit as to why we consider networking some of the important concepts in cybersecurity, right? Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Awesome. Okay, now that we have understood why we emphasize networking and networks and all of that, let us look at building a home network with Cisco Packet Tracer. So at this point, yeah, you just got a new job, you just got a remote job, and you also just got a new apartment, you're excited. Let me say, for instance, Mofe is like, oh, I just moved to Leicester, or let me see. Okay, maybe you just moved to Edinburgh and you're like, oh, I just got a new job and it's remote and I really don't have to do a lot. And say, for instance, you and Esther are siblings, right? Esther is your sister. You want to say, okay, Esther, come and stay with me so that we can have fun. You can get a remote role too, and we can both work from home. But we need to also set up a simple secure home network. Remember, you are cybersecurity professionals. You cannot afford to have an insecure home network. Am I correct? Amazing. Now, because of how excited you are about your new role, you also want to learn how your devices are going to be communicating. So to be able to do that, you are going to first of all simulate a real-world setup using your Cisco Packet Tracer. Now, the reason why we say simulate is because Cisco Packet Tracer is what I'd like to liken to AutoCAD. Okay, if there's any architect in the house or any, I think engineers use it. I think civil engineers and co use AutoCAD, right? It is what they use to do a simulated version of the house they want to build, the structure they want to build, right? So for us in cybersecurity, for people in networking and in cybersecurity, we use the packet tracer to do like a simulation, right? Like a 2D version of the network that we want to create in real time. And then you're able to, unlike the paper, right? You're able to then test if what you are linking up, what you are attaching to each other, if they're actually working. It's one thing to say, oh, I have 5 PCs and I have 2 routers. I have one beautiful switch. I even bought the latest Cisco switch. But then you are connecting everything, nothing is working. Nothing is sending messages to each other. You can't even access, Mofe can't even access Esther's PC. Esther cannot even send a message to Savior's laptop. What then are you now building as a home network, right? But Cisco Packet Tracer allows you to test your setup in that space in real time so that you can then replicate what you have tested in real life. All right, great. Now imagine that we have put all the things into Mofe and Esther's house. You have your desktop computer for Mofe. We have the desktop computer, a personal laptop for Savior. We have the shared family PC for Esther. We have our wireless routers for her mobile devices, and we have a central router and switch that will handle all of the traffic. Okay. Now, how are we going to do this? First and foremost, we're going to build the simple network. And how do we do that? First, we would add all the devices that we want to use and all the hardware. So I'm talking about your PCs, your laptops, the routers, the switches. We're going to add it to the workspace. And then we're going to go ahead and name them by their owners. So the one that belongs to Mofe would name it. The one that belongs to Esther would name it. The one that belongs to Savior would name it. If Peter brings his PC, we would also put it there and name it. Okay, and then we'll connect them. The ones that need physical cabling, we'll connect them with physical cablings. The ones that do not need it, we would hold off and connect them properly. All right. Now, when we have done that, we'll now go ahead and do the configuration. So we have to give them address. You can't say, oh, I have a new PC and doesn't have address. How does Mofe then send you a message, Esther? Or how would Savior tell you, oh, hi, I'm on the balcony if you guys need me, if you don't have an IP address attached to your device? Do we understand? So we'll connect the PCs and the laptop to the router, all right? And then we'll go ahead and test with what we call a simple PDU. So a PDU is like an echo message, an empty message that's like saying, hi, are you there? And then one person receives it, we see the notification on the bottom of our screen that says, oh yes, Mofe has received the message from Esther, or Prince has received the message from Oluwatobi, and then we're good to go. All right? Now, I'd like us to go ahead and start it. Okay? Amazing. Let's get into it. Please let me just share my packet tracer so that we can all have fun. Amazing. All right. Please, I'd like us to confirm that we can all see my packet tracer properly. Please confirm that you can see my packet tracer, my simulation tool properly. Nice. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Savio. Nice. All right. All right. So I believe that we all can see. So we're going to get started. Now, remember that I said that we want to use 2 PCs, 1 laptop, and the connecting hardware, right? So we're going to go ahead and first and foremost pick our devices. The first one we have is going to be our router. All right. So let's go ahead and select that. What's come here up here? And if you look at the packages, let me just walk us through our packages real quick. A package is basically like a plain drawing board, like a simple drawing board. We have what we call the logical workspace, which is basically where you are seeing the actual devices as they appear, as they would appear with icons and co. Then we have the physical workspace where you are only seeing the addresses and the locations. You're not actually seeing the devices themselves. But to make it easy for us, because we are already in the apartment, we're going to be using the logical workspace. Now, if you walk through the entire Cisco Packet Tracer, you'll see the amazing things that it can do. It can help you save. It can help you send information without you filling anything. It can delete whatever you have created. It can readjust the size of whatever you have imputed. It can place notes attached to your devices. You can also go ahead. Sorry, please, let me adjust this. Yeah, you can go ahead and realign whatever location you want to use. You can include the internet itself. You can add pictures. You can add images. You can draw things into existence. Okay, so you want the way you use AI, for instance, to draw, to maybe say, oh, AI redesign this room and all of that. You can use a simulated version of that to create like an outlook of what you are picturing in terms of how you want to place things in your environment. All right, great. Okay, now you also have, like I showed you earlier, we have what we call the real time, and then we have the simulation version for your package. So you're telling it, okay, I want this thing to operate, to work in real time. I want it to work in simulation mode. So for real time, we're saying use the time that we're currently in to go ahead and run this. So I can see if this is working as it should per time. All right. If my browser is working as it should per time, if my router is working as it should per time, so that when I set up in real life, I don't have to start worrying about, oh, my PC went off, my router is not connected to the internet, and why? Because you've done it here, you don't have to think of the whys anymore. All right, so first things first, we want to go ahead and review what devices we have on the bottom left of our packet tracer. So we have what we call network devices. Under it, we have the routers, we have the switches, we have the hubs, we have wireless devices, we have our security where we get our what is called our firewalls and every other thing. We have our WAN simulation. Now, all these things might sound like magic right now, but I promise you, once you start to learn the full cybersecurity program, it's going to be easy peasy. Okay, nice. So with packet tracer, you just drag and drop. You're not really stressing yourself that much. We call it drag and drop. I call it drag and drop device. Okay, so first we'll pick our router. We'll place it. I like to place it on the, let me put it on the top left so that I'm able to like play around with the other areas of my platform or my workspace. Then we go to our end devices. Now, remember that we have not put a switch in yet. So we'll just go ahead and pick any switch. Let's pick the first one we come across. We put it beside our router because it's basically, the switch is basically what allows more than one device to connect to a router at the same time and still be able to receive information per time, all right, without there being a disruption in connection and all of that. Okay, so now that we have our router and our switch in place, which are our hardware, like I said earlier, we then go ahead and pick our end devices. Okay, now what did we say we had to add on our network? Does anybody remember? What were we going to add on our network? What were we going to give to Mofe? What were we going to give to Esther? What were we going to give to Peter and Savio and everybody else? I don't mind, give me a name, I'll attach it to it. What were we giving each person? Thank you, Peter. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so we're going to pick and drop, or let me use the word drag and drop 2 pieces, one for Peter, one for, I'm looking at who answered me. Yes, one for Folusho. Now, Folusho, it is not addresses yet. We have to put our devices in place first before we start giving it an address. It's like if you don't build a house, then you go and ask the housing authority for address. They will ask you, where are we putting the address on? Do you understand? As far as they're concerned, until you build that house, it's just a plot of land on plot allocation A, B, C, D, and E. I don't know how it's called. I don't do house surveying. All right. But that's the thing. You have to have your devices first before you put a number or an address on it. Then we go ahead and pull up our laptop. Please don't forget, that's an important part. Your laptop is also going to be there. Remember, you are working remotely. Yes, you have your pieces, but one of you is also likes working on the balcony, or they like walking around the house without sitting in one place, just to tell you that they're working remote work. That's Uncle Mofe or Auntie Mofe, as the case may be, right? Then we now want to look at we want to go back to our network devices, because remember, we have a laptop. And a lot of times, yes, you can use your Ethernet cord with your laptop, but we want to be wireless. Am I correct? So we're going to add a wireless router. Okay, so we go to the network devices, and then we go to the wireless devices under network devices. And we can pick a home router from here and just drop it in our workspace. This is to help us simulate that environment, right? So you have your normal router that you fix, they can't carry anywhere. Then you have one that you might be able to move around and put some funny places in the house, right? And all of that. Good. Now let us start setting up our space. Now that we have all the devices that we want to use, let us start to link them up with each other. To do that, we're going to go back to the left bottom corner of our screen and go to what we call connections. Now, under connections, we have different, amazing, awesome wires or cables, like we like to call them. But for this to work, we need to use the copper straight through cable. That copper straight through cable is like that one that you normally see when you go buy your router and they tell you, oh, you have this cable that you can use to connect everything in your house, including your TV, if you don't want to use the wireless connection on your TV, if you have a smart TV and all of that, right? So we're going to be using this wireless straight through cable to connect all our devices. Now, don't get me wrong, we can also use the crossover, we can use the console, but they have specific uses and specific reasons for being used per time. So when you come into the program, we will tell you all of this when we touch on this in the class. All right, so let us pick our cable real quick. We're going to go to the router first and click on the router with our cable. Remember, the router is your internet. So you're going to pick the first connection there, which is the gigabyte Ethernet. Okay, and then we're going to click it back to the switch. And on the switch, we pick our fast Ethernet 01. That's the first connection here. Okay, now we come back here, pick another cable, connect this to the switch on the port 2, and take it to the first PC and connect to our fast Ethernet. Remember, we're trying to get a fast connection as much as possible. We come back here, we pick another cable, link it to this, pick the next available port, and connect that to PC 1 on the same connection. Then we come back, we pick this, come back here, now Ethernet 4, and we come here and we pick this. The goal is to connect as many of these as possible with the proper connection. Now we have all the wires in, we have all our cables in, but remember I told us it's a laptop, you don't need a, what's this called? A cable to connect our laptops. Now, if you over all of these devices, to drop down and tell you that so far so good, your internet is not connected yet. So if you look at it, it says link is down, address not set. All right, so what are we going to do now? We're going to go ahead and do what Felicia has said. We're going to go ahead and assign IP addresses. Now, don't get me wrong, we can either name it first and assign IP addresses second. Whatever direction at this point, whatever section, whatever thing we continue to do does not really reflect on our connectivity. To still ensure that we're able to connect. All right. So let us start with our router, because that's how we're talking to the internet. So we click on our router and it pulls up its setup, all right, from the behind the scenes. Now for that, we want to go to the CLI. The CLI is the command the command interface for our router. This is where we tell the router what we want it to do. Okay, so it's asking us now, if you look at the bottom of this, tells you, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? And I'm like, I like to, so I say yes. And it's asking me if I want to set up, and I tell it yes. So it asks me, what do I want to name my router? I can name it, let me see. Let me give it Peter's name, Peter's router. Let me just say Pete. Okay. Okay, so I don't want to enable secrets. I'm going to leave that. Okay. Sorry, are we all following along? Oh, you're not seeing what I'm doing. Oh, wow. Okay, let me stop and share my entire screen so we can all see what I'm trying to do. Apologies for that, please. Apologies, please. Thank you for telling me. I didn't even know that in time. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me stop this. Stop sharing. Share my entire screen. Okay, let me call up my router again. Let me start from the beginning again. Can we all see my pop-up, please? Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling my attention to it. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Okay, so now you asked me what name do I want to call my router. I told you to call my router Peter. Can you see that? Right? And it asked me, what do I want to add a secret? So I'm going to add a simple secret that 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that I have set that up, it says I should go ahead and put another password. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and we're good to go. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a lot. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let us continue. Nice, amazing. So now we're ready to go. We have put in our password so that we can go ahead and start talking to it. So now I want to tell it to enable us to actually configure it, and it has started allowing us to configure the router. All right, great. Now we're going to configure the terminal. Remember, I told us that in cybersecurity, they don't use confusing terms. The goal is to help you find it easy to understand what you're doing. Okay, so you're telling it now, I want to configure how this router interacts with the internet. Okay, so it tells you here, it says enter configuration commands 1 per line. When you're done, you can end it with Control and Z. All right, you see how simple it is? Great, isn't it? Okay, now what do we want to configure? We want to configure the interface on which we have attached our cable. So we're going to say interface. Does anybody, okay, I don't think anybody paid attention when I was selecting the interface. But if we remember, can anybody tell me what interface we had chosen when we were adding the cable? Does anyone remember what interface we had chosen when we were adding the cable? Okay, let me not stress us like that. So we chose the interface gigabyte Ethernet 0/0/0/0. All right. Now, if I let's say for instance I say gig 0/0 and I don't add the last 0, it will tell me that it doesn't exist because I did not attach my code to that type of interface. All right. Now, because they exist, it has taken me into that interface so I can go ahead and configure it. And what do I want to do? I want to assign an IP address to my router. Okay, so I'm going to tell the terminal now. I'm saying the IP address I want you to give this router is 192.168 1.1.1, which is like one of the most basic IP addresses that we typically assign to any router. And then if you check your normal router at home right now, if you check it on your browser, you will see that it will pop up and it will give you what we call a subnet mask. That is, what area in the internet is this going to be operating within? All right, so we call that a subnet mask, and it's going to be 255.255.255.0. All these things may sound like plenty numbers and weird numbers, right? But I promise when you come into the program, we'll explain and you understand why these numbers exist and what they actually do. Now that we have set the IP address and the subnet mask, we're going to tell it to not shut down. So we're going to use the command no shut down. All right, we're telling it that once we leave this space, continue to run. Okay, are you seeing that? It says link changed, interface is now up. That means you are now able to access. So now I can go ahead and exit. Okay, so I don't stay in that space anymore. Now, if you notice, if you look at this particular configuration earlier, I had router config if, that is router configure the interface. Now, because I exited, it took me back to the router config. Now, when I come here and I exit, it takes me back to the router itself. Okay, it says configured from console by console. Do you understand? Now I can tell it, okay, please go ahead and write. Now, for us in cybersecurity, when you tell a device to write, you're telling it to go ahead and include all these things instruction you have given it in its normal basic instruction and work with it. Now, if you notice, when we started aligning these things, this space was red. Does anybody remember? It was red. Am I correct? Are we still together, please? Amazing. Now, if you look at my configuration now, you see that gigabyte 04/04/0 is now up and the IP address is now set. Okay, isn't that great? Amazing. Now we're going to go to our PC1 and we're going to our PC0. Sorry, I think it's PC0 here. I want to check it. Now, if you see, it says the Ethernet is up, but it doesn't have an IP to call on just yet. Before we go and call on the IP, let's change the name real quick. Let's call it, let me go ahead, change it. I think this should be Peter's PC. Great. Now this would be Mofez PC. And this would be, should we make this Esther's laptop or should we make this Felusha's laptop? Who wants the laptop? Who wants the laptop, please? Or Zainab, do you want the laptop? Who wants the laptop? I'm waiting. Who wants the laptop? Okay. Okay. Okay, I will say Zainab, Phil, and Mofez and Felusha's laptop. So all of you are going to share the laptop. All right. Or better still, let me name this Phil's laptop. So Zainab is going to own the wireless router and so on and so forth. All right. So this is Phil's laptop. And we are going to be talking, oh, we can't change them on this, but we can call this a name. So it's going to be Zainab's switch. All right, great. We can name this Felusha's router. So you all are going to be paying Felusha for access to his router. All right, or to her, Felusha, I'm sorry, to their router. I'm not sure if a lady or a man. Okay, now that we have named all our devices, we no longer have randomly named devices anymore. We know who owns what in our space. Let's go and configure Peter's PC. All right, first things first, we're going to go into the desktop. All right, now in the desktop, we have two ways through which we can configure any device. We have the IP config and we have the terminal, but for the sake of making it easy for us to understand, we're going to be using the IP configuration spot or feature. Okay, so here we're going to be using, now we have what we call DHCP type of configuration, where you are telling the server to give you any random, what's it called? Any random IP address. Thank you, Muideen. I don't know why that thing stuck in my head. Then you have the static where you are saying, I'm giving you a specific IP address. So this word, we're going to be giving Peter's PC a specific IP address. All right. So we're going to say we want to give Peter's PC 192.168.1. Let's use 10. Okay, now if I click on this, you realize that the same subnet mask I gave to the router already shows up here. Now we come back to the default gateway. Remember that our router is our default gateway. Okay, our router is our default gateway. So we're going to put the router's address. That is where it's going to be sending the messages through. Okay, so 192.168.1.1. Don't worry, when you come into class, we'll explain the difference between the first 3 digits, the first 3 numbers, and the last number. All of these are actually fun to learn. You will learn it in class. All right, great. Now we have configured Peter's PC. Let us go and configure Mufe's PC. All right, so we're going to go to the same desktop, click on the IP configuration, and give Mufe the next address on that list. So we gave Peter 192.168.1.10, right? We're going to be giving Mufe 192.168.1.11. I know it's not going to be 11, but you get my point, right? Great. If you notice, the same submask came, but then we need to also impute the router's IP address. All right? Don't forget. Okay, now we have set Mufe up to connect to the internet. All right? So if you highlight this now, you see that the IP has been set here and the IP has been set here. Now let us go and set up the wireless router, because we cannot set up the PC without setting up laptop, apologies please, without setting up the wireless router. All right, so let us go into the router and talk to it nicely. Okay. Oh, my router is taking a long time to pull up, but I'm sure it will pull up. Yeah, see, we're here. So for the router, we have what we call a GUI, which is the graphic user interface. So unlike the others where you have to go and be typing in things, here we're going to go to a fancy landing page. Yeah, so remember we have been using the static configuration so far. We have to change our configuration here to start IP, okay? Now we're going to come here and give the wireless router its own IP address as well. So we're going to set it 192, go into the next box, 168, oh, 8, the next box, .1.2. What we just did is that we told it to stay directly behind the original router. Yes, it's a wireless router, but it's going to be directly behind the original router. And then we need to impute the subnet mask so that it's able to know what part, where exactly in the network we're going to be connecting through. All right. So now we have similarities in everything we have so far. But then we also need to tell it what router it's going to be working through, which is 192.168.1.1. So now that we're done here, we're good to go. We're going to just scroll down. Now, under DHCP, remember we're using static. We're going to disable this so that it doesn't assign random IP addresses to the laptop that's attached to it or any other laptop that we might virtually buy in the house and try to connect to it. Now, before we even go too far, let's go and name the device, okay? So here we want you to be able to tell people that, oh, this particular Wi-Fi router is not the general router, it is the home router. So we're going to change the name from default to home router. We don't want our devices to be seen default and confuse it with the original router, right? Great. So now that we're done, we're good to go. We can save these settings and we can minimize this. And we come here and check. It tells us that our device is up, set by itself, and when it's done, it's going to go ahead and run. Now we're going to come into our laptop. If you notice, the laptop is saying that we're still down. sorry, I'm trying to highlight it. Okay, so it says that Phil's laptop is still down and is not connected just because there's no IP address to connect to. So we're going to go ahead and set up Phil's laptop. And how do we do that? First things first is here. When you get a new laptop, you notice that on the, I think it should be on this, what's this hand? On the left side, there is where you can connect your LAN cable, your Ethernet cable, and all of that, right? But usually in the current day and age, laptops come with what we call the wireless port connector, as the WPC, okay? But this laptop does not have that. So we are going to be adding that to it. And how do we do that? We're going to first and foremost turn off the laptop, because you cannot remove any device without turning it off. You might crash your laptop, all right? Then we're going to go ahead and zoom in, all right? Then move sideways so we can see better. So you see where we have fast Ethernet, we're going to remove this, drag it and drop it, and replace it with the wireless port connector. This means that now our PC can connect to the router without our help. So now we can go back and zoom out. But we're not done, because we have not given it an IP address, right? So we're going to go to our desktop and check our PC wireless. So we want to confirm that we are connected properly, okay? Now, we're going to go back to our desktop and still give it an IP, because we don't want to assume the IP address it has. If you notice, that's given an IP address, it says .0.100, but we are running our device on .1. Whatever we assign to the end, right? So we're going to change it to static and give it the proper IP. So now we want to have it, we want to give it, let's give it 192.168.1. I think we gave Mofes PC 11, right? So let's give this 12. Okay, subnet is set. Let's go ahead and set the gateway, the default gateway, where it is, we're sending information through. That's 192.168.1.1. Okay, so now we are good to go. Okay, but now how are we sure that we're actually good to go? How are we sure that everything that we have set so far is actually connected? Are you seeing the difference now? Can everybody see the difference between our original setup and what we have now? It's not looking like fun. It's not looking like fun. Are we enjoying this as much as I am? Or I seem to be? Okay, great. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Phil. So now Phil is connected, Mofa is connected, Peter is connected, but we need to be doubly sure. And how do we do that? Let's go to Peter's PC. Try and talk to the other devices. And how do we do that? We do that by doing what we call pinging. So we ping the other device. So we come to the command prompt, which is basically like our, what we call our browser. But for this, we're going to be using this because we're not set up the browser yet, right? So we're going to ping. We're going to pick Mofe first. Okay, Mofe is 192.168.1.11, right? So let's ping Mofe 192.168.1.11. Beautiful. It says we're getting replies from Mofe. There is a reply, there's replies. So it's telling us that we sent Mofe 4 messages, we received 4 messages from Mofe, and we lost no message. That means that Mofe is easy to talk to. That means we are properly connected to Mofe through the router. Now let us try and talk to the router itself. Yeah, so that's 192.168.1.1. Isn't this amazing? So in properly configuring, we've been able to talk to the router itself. Now let us try and talk to the wireless router. Let's see if we're able to talk to the wireless router real quick. Okay, 192.168.1, I think that's a 2. Okay. Okay, so now we're unable to talk to the router. So we need to confirm, we need to go back and figure that out. That the reason why that is because it was set that way. So we need to go back and check, okay, what did we not set in that router to be sure that our router is communicable with? Is that English correct? Yeah. But whilst we're doing that, let us try and talk to Phil's laptop. Okay, so we are sure that, okay, everything else is good, just that we need to fix our connectivity with that device. Okay, so we can actually talk to Phil's laptop even though we cannot reach the router, which means that everything is properly set. So maybe because the router is not allowing us to talk to it because we made it a channel instead of an actual device. All right, so this tells us that everything is in order. Every device can communicate in our connection. All right, amazing. Now, another way we can actually test this is what I said earlier, which is where we have this what we call a simple echo message. It's an empty message we're sending to other devices to see if they're up and available to receive information. So we click on this and tell it, okay, help us send a simple message from the router to Peter. Now, if you come to the bottom right here, let me see if I can adjust this. Come to the bottom right here, you see that it says message sent to from Folusha's router to Peter was successful, and it was an ICMP, an echo message. Okay. Now let us try and send another message from Folusha's router to Mofe. Amazing. It says it's in progress. It's failed. Most likely there's a connection disturbance on the way. Okay. Now you want to retry that until you are sure that there's nothing disturbing Mofe from reaching the router, because you have been able to ping Mofe earlier. So you know that Mofe's PC is up. So whatever the case may be, you might want to go ahead and double check it. Okay. Now let us try and talk from Phil, let's see, to Peter. Beautiful. We are able to talk from Peter to Phil. So we might want to check Mofe and say, okay, hi Mofe, what is going on with your connection? Why can't we not talk to the router? We're going to ping the router here and see. So it's talking to the router, just not sending the message to the router. So that means it's actually properly connected. Maybe at that point where we're sending the message, it was not in the mood to talk to the router. All right. So we know that there's no problem with the setup of our devices. All right. Did we have fun learning how to build a simple home network on Cisco Packet Tracer? Did we all have fun? I'm hoping we did, actually. I'm really, really hoping we did have fun. Did we all have fun at doing this? Amazing, amazing. Okay, thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Peel. Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much, everyone. So I am actually thankful that you have been able to listen with me, enjoy with me, and learn a little about networking with me. Now that we have had all of the fun together, let us now look at exactly how we get started in cybersecurity, how we go from just talking about it to actually doing it. Now, for us to be able to do this, I'm going to invite my colleague and the amazing person I introduced to you earlier, Prince Muidin, to walk us through how we get started from just talking about what we want to do in cybersecurity to actually doing it and doing amazingly at it. Please welcome Prince to take over from here for me. Hi, Prince, over to you.
Hi. Thank you so much, Loa Toby. I believe everybody had so much fun, including myself, because this is just always fun. Trust me, it is just always fun when it gets to trying to configure a home router to be able to connect everybody within the um organizations, including the home. It is always interesting. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to walk us through how we'll be able to um learn everything that Lua to be shown and be able to just see yourself doing almost the same thing that Lua to be shown. If you really do enjoy the session, please, I want to see a one in the chat. I know the chat was buzzing with a lot of feel more fair. I see a lot of activities. Peter was the first person to get a system. Was the very first person. So I believe we all had fun. Fantastic. Awesome. Oh, Joshua is sending a random W. If this was not in Zoom, I'll probably imagine that you're trying to overwhelm the chat. But that is fantastic. I could see that you really do enjoy the session. Now, when you're looking at transitioning and learning everything that Oluwatobi has shared, now you might be wondering like, oh, how exactly do I now learn all these things? These things seem interesting and at the same time seem a little bit technical. How exactly am I able to learn this and take it up as a skill to be able to see myself landing on the right path when I want to switch my career path. This is what we are here for. And what I'm going to be doing tonight is actually walk you through some strategic key information and steps you can take to see yourself transitioning into cybersecurity. Right now, when you see everything that Oluwatobi has done, what we actually did was we went ahead to look at all the major job boards to understand, oh, so what are the jobs that are really high in demand? When we scraped all this information, gathered all this information, we did our analysis and we are able to, and when we are doing our analysis, we based our analysis on the ease of learning, meaning just this same way you saw Lua to be walk you through setting up the home router, easy to learn. Then for somebody that does not have any prior experience in cybersecurity, are you able to easily transition into this role? Then definitely are we guaranteed that it's going to give you a high rewarding salary? So these are the things that we consider. And by the time we are done with analysis, we arrived at 8 different programs, but tonight we are talking about one of them, which is cybersecurity. So we have that guarantee that if you go through this program, you'll be able to easily learn it, you'll be able to easily transition, and by the end of the day, you're going to be guaranteed a high rewarding salary. But we just didn't leave it at that. What we further went to do is we went ahead to do what we call external validation. And what we did and where we get to do that is from the World Economic Forum. And the World Economic Forum was showing us the fastest growing jobs between now and 2030. And if you look at the analysis that was done in this space, we have cybersecurity in we have 3 spots in cybersecurity topping the chart in the fastest growing job between now and 2030. One of them is security management specialist, which by the time you're done with the program, with the cybersecurity program, you will have 100% skills to be able to land a role in that space. You have IoT specialist, that's Internet of Things. You have that. Then you also have information security analyst. This is to show you that aside from the fact that you're able to easily learn it, you're able to easily transition, and it's going to give you a higher rewarding salary, definitely. According to the World Economic Forum, cybersecurity, the career you're looking to transition into, is also one of the fastest growing jobs between now and 2030. This is a very fantastic information that for anybody looking to transition, they really want to focus on getting themselves into this space. And you know, I might be wondering, oh, so now that I have this information, what are the skills do I need? What are the things? Is it just only using Cisco packet tracer that I need to enable me get a job? Or what exactly are the things that I need to see myself getting a job? And this is why you have this session. So this particular program, your professional, I call her a professor. My professor, I call her my professor. She'll be the one that will walk you through how to learn everything step by step. I believe you could see that many of us don't know exactly how to route from a Cisco switch to from a Cisco router to a switch. Many of us don't even know how to do all these things. But she was able to show us beginners level step, like she was able to easily do it and we are able to see how exactly to get it done. That even at some point you feel like, oh, I can do this, considering you've not even done anything like that before. That is exactly the way you'll be able to you'll be handled in the class when you're learning cybersecurity. And if you're looking at the things you get to learn, you don't need any sort of prior experience or prior knowledge to be able to say you want to transition into this space. First, though, when you get into the class, you have the overview of what exactly is cybersecurity, the roles, your responsibilities, and the technologies that you get to use. Once you're done with that, start to understand the principle, the founding pillars, the standing pillars, what really defines cybersecurity. Then you start to get into what you don't know is what she just did. Many people might not really understand, but she used static IP configuration, meaning it will be very difficult from anybody from anywhere to just get access to your network because there is no random network. It is static. It is one way. There is no external device that will be able to connect to the router of your organization, meaning by even setting up the network of your home or the company you're working for, you've been able to protect them from any sort of external connection or somebody trying to connect or jack into your network. easily. You won't even know that you're doing all these things and you've been able to do it. These are the things that you'll be exposed to learning within the cybersecurity program. And by the time you are done with your training will give you a vast opportunity in the cyberspace. Meaning by the time you are done with your training, you'll be able to see yourself landing a job with enough skill to get yourself a job as a penetration tester. These are professionals that they go ahead to test for vulnerabilities within a network to make sure that your network is secure. I believe majority of us are Nigerian or Africans. So I'll give you a very good example. You know this unconscious, or let me say, habits that when we want to go to bed at night, we easily go lock up the door, then unconsciously try to pry it open. Like, are you secured? That is exactly what it means by penetration testing. You've been able to secure the network, but you want to pry it, you want to shake it like, Alpha, are you there? Or there's something that is shaking that I want to identify. That's exactly what penetration testing. You are trying to identify if the door is shaking or if it is secure. If you shake it like that and the handle remove, like, oh, the next morning you are calling the carpenter to get to that door, like fix that door immediately. That is exactly what penetration testing means. You try to penetrate a network to identify vulnerabilities. And when you identify if there are any, you'll be able to make recommendations on how to get them fixed. The cybersecurity program, is going to equip you with these skills because the program itself, you get to work on projects. Everything you're doing, you're working on projects, giving you live experience, live work experience that you'll be able to transfer directly from the class onto whatever job that you see yourself that you land. Also, you have ability to become what we call a SOC analyst, security operations center analyst. These are people that when a penetration tester is trying to perform a penetration testing, they will be the one trying to understand what is going on. And when there's any sort of intending attack, they will be the one to identify this, like first person's respondent. They'll be the person to identify this and be able to say, oh, there's something that's going on here. I'll be able to isolate it, escalate that situation so that that form of attack does not compromise every sort of information, the data, all the information that we have in the organization. How will all these things, did that attack not compromise it? This is the rules of SOC analysts and even a lot more. They are responsible for securing everything within the organization. You also have ability to become a threat intelligence analyst, understanding malwares. How do they behave? There's a lot of data leaks that you are hearing news here and there. How exactly did it get into what sort of um threats are they? How do you understand them? How do you understand their behavior? And how do you nip it before they crawl into your organizations? You will learn all these things working on projects. The cybersecurity class is very heavy on practicals, right? So you get into the class, you work on projects, you solve real world problems, working on projects many times. And these are the things that will give you enough opportunity to see yourself transitioning into a role by the time you're done with your training, even before you're done with your training. Then the last but not the least that you'll be able to get skill you'll be able to get after the training in cybersecurity is the GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. These category are almost the non-technical part of cybersecurity. They are the ones that draft your security framework. They write all the policies to make sure that everything within the organization is following a very strategic let me say a rule guidance so that you don't go overboard to make sure that everything is contained within the organization. So these are the things that you get to learn. And your classes, you have your live classes on Saturday because majority of our students, you see them either they are doing masters or they have a very tight 9 to 5, or they are working 2 jobs. Some are even students and working. So every live class that you have, it does not happen on the weekdays. It happens on Saturday. 11 a.m. West African time to 2 p.m. Then for those in Canada and in US, they have their live classes on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST, that's Mountain Standard Time, or 12 noon to 3 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, on Saturdays, right? And by Sunday and Monday, you get what we call a self-paced watch me do it video, where you watch professionals like my professor walk you through a pre-recorded video of how to get things done to build more knowledge in that space. And the total duration of your training is 8 months, where you have 6 months in class. You learn how to be a fantastic business cybersecurity analyst in 6 months. Then you get to work on more projects in 2 months. Furthermore, building your experience and work ability. Now, when you're looking at what are the strategic ways that you can take, or what are the things you can do to enable you get a job in 2025, it's pretty simple. And this strategy has worked many times for our students that have been able to go through the training. And the strategy is pretty simple. You want to, now that you know exactly what you want to do cybersecurity, you want to actually learn it. Okay, you want to learn it, understand it. Then by the time you are done learning it, you want to strategically position yourself. And what does positioning mean? It means you want to revamp your CV, to have your CV now speak as that of a cybersecurity analyst. And mind you, in this particular environment, the CV that you get to use, you understand what it means by tailoring your CV. You understand what it means by when anybody tell you, oh, I'm tailoring my CV to be able to beat the ATS. You understand what ATS means. You understand the purpose of that, because the purpose of that is by the time you're done with your cybersecurity program and you want to apply to jobs, let's say a penetration testing role, that CV that you used to apply to a pen testing role, it is going to be totally different from the CV you used to apply to a SOC analyst role. It's different because your responsibility are different. So you understand how to do all these things. We teach you how to do them. You also have your LinkedIn optimization. There's a limit to jobs you can apply to. We are human beings. We are not machine. You cannot tailor your CV to 100 jobs per day. There is no human being that can do that. But how exactly do you take advantage of every other job opportunity that is out there? This is where your LinkedIn comes into play. So you will have a live session that will teach you how to optimize your LinkedIn to give you opportunity of having recruiters, people that are looking to hire professionals like yourself, see your profile and be able to identify, slide into your DM and give you opportunity to have you working with them. You also have your portfolio that is going to house all the projects you must have done while in class and also during your internship. Because like I said, remember, your classes, they are all practicals, meaning practicals, you're working on projects, solving real world problems. All right. Then you also have weekly mentorship sessions that literally hold your hand and walk you through a path that you've never walked through before. We are all new in this space. I'm assuming we're all new in this space. So having that mentor's guidance, someone that has been through this space, imagine you're done with your training and you have my professor as your mentor. That is going to be like a dream come true, because everything you're about to do, she has done it and she knows exactly how best to get you to that destination, which is success. Exactly. That is what you have mentorship guidance for. And also, when you apply to jobs, definitely we expect you to have interviews. Before you get into any interview, you are prepared by a professional that will look at everything you've done, look at the job description, look at your CV, look at what they are looking for, and walk you through exactly how to ace that interview. You have opportunity to this every time before you get into an interview. When you get a job, you have the opportunity to get reference from Analytics. And when you're on the job, okay, so imagine what my professor just did. You are doing something like this, then all of a sudden the Peter's PC was not communicating with Mofet's PC, and you've been trying to troubleshoot this all night, you don't know what to do. And that particular connection, you need it to facilitate a meeting that's going to happen within branches. What do? You reach out to somebody within Analytics. My professor will be able to jump on board with you and solve that problem for you. Okay, so these are the things that you are able to get value from by joining the program. And this is what we call positioning. So you see, when you have all this compacted together, you now go ahead, you start applying. You apply strategically. You also learn how to apply to make sure that you tailor your CV to every job you're looking to apply to. Now, making sure you apply to quality job, at least 10 quality jobs per day, will get you into that opportunity. And also, you'll be able to get access to hidden job markets that is paid for. It is premium. We paid to these premium hidden job markets, and you have 100% access to them without paying anybody anything. Now, doing all this, it is guaranteed that you'll be able to see yourself landing a job after you've been able to execute everything that you've learned. You've learned how to be a fantastic cybersecurity analyst. You've been able to position yourself strategically, and you see yourself applying to 10 quality jobs per day, one job, one CV. By the time you are way into the program, you see yourself getting opportunities of landing a job. And trust me, it will always seem like, oh, this is sounding too much. This does not sound like it's possible. And I'm going to shock you. I'm going to give you a shocker. I'm going to show you one of our students. His name is Aditayo. He actually went through the cybersecurity program. And before he was done with his training, he was able to get a job. He was not done with the cybersecurity. As that industry, as how competitive getting a job is, he went through the training, and if you can see, within 60 to 70% completion of his cybersecurity program, he was able to get a job. You ask, how exactly did he get to do it? And I'm going to play this video to have you watch how Adita actually went ahead to do this. So I'm going to yes, I want to. So I'm going to play this video. Olatobi, can you tell me when you can hear if you can hear me what I'm playing, okay?
Hello guys, how you doing? My name is Adewa.
Can you hear
Yes,
what
we
is
can
playing?
hear you.
Okay, fantastic.
We can
So
hear.
I want everyone
Ali
of you.
Adetayo. I am making this video just to share my experience that I had with analytics. About
So I want every one of you to listen, to really understand and listen to what I'm going to start it again from the beginning. So you listen and hear how we went ahead
Hello
to get
guys,
a
how you
job.
doing? My name is Adewale Adetayo. I am making this video just to share my experience that I had with analytics. About 5 months ago, I enrolled for a cybersecurity course with analytics. Yeah, and when I started the course, my expectations were met. They actually shared a lot of stuff, both theories and hands-on, and the instructor was fantastic, literally. So while I was still doing the course, about let's say 60 to 70% completion into the course, I was obviously applying for jobs while I was doing the course, and I got a job as a Microsoft business advisor, solving technical problems for organizations with less than 300 employees. And I could say that doing the course was a contributing factor to me securing the job. I wanted to just affirm the knowledge that I have with cybersecurity, IT in general, because for some time, I was working as a self-employed person and I wasn't working in the IT space. So just to get back in, I needed to go through some courses just to establish the knowledge that I have and probably help me with some knowledge gaps likewise. And I could tell you that that was actually fulfilled, as I was even unable to complete the course before I got a job, and it contributed to the factor. So why am I sharing this? Probably you have something you are planning, you have a course you want to do, and you are trying to embark with analytics. I would say you should go ahead with it. You can ask all the questions you want to. You have a group that you belong to. You guys can actually share knowledge together likewise, and you can ask all the questions. During the course, that you literally know that every question you want to ask, probably every knowledge gap you have, you can really talk about it, instead of doing probably micro courses online whereby it's just a one-way teaching, whereby you cannot provide your own feedbacks or probably questions that you have. So guys, I will recommend analytics. I wish you all the best in your endeavors, guys. God bless you.
Fantastic individual. So you could hear directly from somebody that's been through the program and how the program has been of impact to them. And if you listen carefully what he said while he was in the training, he was applying to job. This is something that we always advise. By the time you are 2 months into your program, you want to start applying, and you will ask me, how is this even possible? And this is because you see everything you will learn that I've told you that you'll be able to become as a cybersecurity analyst. All these things are just 50% of what we tend to offer you. just 50%. The other 50% is what we call the employability skills. And the employability skills is what exactly is going to weaponize your technical skill to get you the job that you need. And when you're looking at weaponizing your skills, this is where you have your CV revamp that I talked about earlier. This is also where you have your LinkedIn optimization. Then also, you also get access to those premium job boards that we've been able to make page to, and we bring these jobs into your classes to facilitate you applying to this job directly. You also have interview preparations before you get into any interview to furthermore give you that chance of getting a job. And when you get a job, anywhere you're looking to work, they will always ask for reference. So this is where we come in again to be able to give you the reference letter of, oh, so when Mofer was consulting as a cybersecurity analyst with Analytics, she was able to do this. She was a fantastic person. She was a very fantastic team player. She was able to do this for the company. She was able to do this. All these things we're making reference to, they are all the projects you must have worked on while you are in the training. So you have every reason to go out there, apply to jobs, and actually win this battle. Then also remember, you always have all the on the job support where a professional will be able to come on board with you and solve whatever sort of challenge you're having after the training. So even after your training, you still get access to all the services that we offer without paying any extra fee. Everything does not come at any extra. It comes with a single package. Then you also have what we call a weekly mentorship session that happens every Thursday. You get access to that also 100%. There's some people that are looking to, oh, so I'm not interested in really getting any office job as I am right now. Phil probably say Phil is looking to, oh, I want to get skilled and I want to become a penetration tester and I want to be a freelancer, whereby you learn and you help organizations. A lot of organizations now will be under your belt. You help them test for vulnerabilities within a network, make recommendations, and up onto the next one. You want to be a freelancer, you don't want to be tied down to a certain job. The program is going to give you the opportunity, right? These are the things that you get access to, you get value to be able to see yourself transitioning and getting into that space of cybersecurity. And trust me, we have tons and tons of students that have been able to go through these strategic opportunities of going through learning, positioning, and applying to get themselves a job. We have tons of them. I might not be looking, oh, so now that I know exactly all these things that I need to do, how exactly do I start? What is the next step for me to be able to thrive in 2025, to see myself getting a job even before the program is out? Because remember, the program duration is 8 months. How can I get a job before the end of 2025? What is that significant change that I want in my life to happen before the end of 2025? And this is the next opportunity for you to join the class that will be happening. Our next class is coming up by 5th of June. Or sorry, 5th of July. Okay, so if you're looking to really transition, you want to make sure you join the next class starting 5th of July, where the change, that will be a first step in the right direction of making that step to change and becoming a cybersecurity analyst. And you might be wondering, what exactly does it cost to be part of the next program? So the cost of the program, the original price is actually $900 US. Okay, the cost is $900 US, but currently that price has been discounted to for the early bird discount, which is like we allocated this discount for the first 20 people to register for the program, and the price is $750 US. So if you're able to register early before the discount for the first 20 people is over, you give yourself the opportunity to pay just $750 to secure your spot. Now, when you're looking at that $750 US, you are not demanded, you are not required to pay everything at once. We even give you the opportunity to spread that payment up until 5 times to make sure that you are able to take advantage, because $750, I don't know about you, but it's a whole lot of money. So if you break it down and pay at least $150 US, paying $150 US you'll be able to take advantage of the discount that is going on, key your spot in, and join the class starting by 5th of July. And how do you go about that? So I'm going to walk you through how you'll be able to make your payment to secure your spot in this direction. Okay, so I'm going to share you, and my colleagues are going to share a link in the chat that will help you go through this website that I'm about to access. And when you go onto this website, you'll be able to make your payment, secure your spot, and join the next class that is starting by 5th of July. So if you click on the link that my colleague shared in the chat box, is the mainstack.me enrollment link. It will bring you to this Analytics Enrollment Center. So what you want to do is you want to scroll down to the programs. As you can see, we offer, as you already know, we offer 8 different programs. But today we're talking about cybersecurity. Okay, so what you want to do is, if you look at the full training calendar, the next class is starting by 5th of July. But this particular discount is open to those looking to start in July and also in August. So if in case, so you're just saying this for the very first time, you have to put some things in place, probably maybe get a laptop, plan your schedule very well. You're not so certain you can start in July, but you want to really start, you don't want to miss out on the discount, then I'll advise you to make your payment. But when you make your payment, you'll be able to indicate that you're not starting by July, but you're starting by August. The purpose of this is you are able to secure the discount that is currently available. So when the discount is over, which it should be very soon, that will not be your headache because you've been able to take action while the discount was still active, even though you're starting by August. Okay, so you want to go through the list of all the programs that are here, but we are going to, our concern for the day is cybersecurity. So you want to click on cybersecurity 8 months. You want to click on register for CS. I believe everybody can say that. So just click on register for CS. Once you do that, it will populate in another tab and it will show you how you are able to break down your payments to pay in instrumental to facilitate the opportunity of you getting into the program as fast as possible. Okay, so when you come, this website is geotagged, meaning you are able to pay in any currency of your location. You don't have to look for any sort of money exchanger or money wallet to switch your currency. No, you can pay directly, even if you are joining from Nigeria, you can pay directly with your Nigerian bank card. If you're joining from Ghana, the same thing. If you're joining from UK, you pay directly in pounds. If you're joining anywhere in Europe, you can pay directly in euros. And Canada also, you pay in card. USD, definitely be able to pay also. Now, if you look at the cybersecurity program, you see that I mentioned that the program is available for the first 20 people to register. If you see over here, you will see we have just 13 seats left, meaning 7 people have been able to take advantage of that discount. Either they're starting by July or they're starting by August. By the time these available seats are sold out, the price will revert back from 750 to 900 USD. So you want to make sure you key into your discount as soon as possible. And if you see over here, you will hear me like, I'm saying 750, but over here, you are seeing 700. What is going on? Yes, this is an incentive to just help you make that one-time payment or 2 times payment, because you agree with me that getting $700 right now is way more valuable than somebody breaking it to you bit by bit every month. So to just facilitate that opportunity of getting value of money itself, that's why we encourage you to pay one time, either 1 time or 2 times, and you'll be saving yourself extra $50. But if that is not going to be comfortable for you, it's not a problem. You still get access to the 20% the discount for the early bird, which is $750. So if you're looking to pay 3 times, you'll be paying $250 every month, 3 times. Same thing is applicable to 4 months. And if that is not comfortable for you, want to spread it out to the maximum, which is 5 months, you get to pay $150 every month. So to take advantage of the discount, all you need to do is pay the initial $150. Once you pay that,
you'll be taking advantage of the discount and you'll be able to join the class starting by July. Even if you want to start by July, you'll be able to start by July by just paying the 150 US dollars. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure you select the option, the plan, the payment plan that works for you. Select it, then come to this secure your seat. Click on secure your seat. You will see the price breakdown. You are paying 150. Today is 26th of June. Your next payment is going to be on the 26th of July, 26th of every month till you make your final payment in October. So you want to click on proceed. Once you click on proceed, you will see where you input your details. Make sure you input your correct details, your name, your email address, then your phone number is optional. You can decide to put it or you can decide to ignore it. But you want to make sure that your email is valid and your name is valid. Then you click on proceed. It's going to pop up that, are you sure? Can you confirm that your details are correct? Yes, everything looks good. Then once you do that, it will take you to where you'll be able to pay directly using your card. So you input your card and you make payments directly from the website. So what you want to do after making payments is want to go on back to this enrollment center, this place where we click on register for cybersecurity. You want to scroll back up. Can you see where they said upload your receipt here? So this part, you click on this place, then you follow that. So when you must make the payment, a payment receipt to be generated and sent to your email. That email you must have registered, it will be sent to that email. So you want to take a screenshot of that payment receipt, either the one sent to your email or a receipt from your financial institution. You want to take a screenshot of it, then come to this place where they said upload your receipt here. Click on this place, complete the form. This is the spot where you indicate whether you're starting by July or you're starting by August. This is also a spot whereby you are still confused about which of the program you want to go for, but you don't want to miss out on the discount. You are able to still select you want to speak with a professional. And what that would do is a professional will come on a session with you, understand. Now, this session now, we're only able to send charts. In that session, you'll be able to unmute your mic, tell them about your background. They will look at everything and be able to advise you on exactly what to do, which of the program you should be going for, considering your experience, your background, your personal trait, the things you like, the things you don't like. All this are all transferable skills, but into which part of the tech space, this is what that session will give to you. So you want to make sure you secure your spot, make the initial payment. Then if that is where how confused you are, you want to come here, upload your receipt. Then instead of selecting July or August, you just say you want to speak with a professional. A professional will be able to speak with you, know exactly what you need to do, and get you into that program. All right. So this is how you go about securing your spot. Once you're done uploading your receipt, you submit, then somebody within the team will reach out to you, will get back to you. So you want to make sure you get that done as soon as possible so you don't miss out on the discount. And if you have questions, you might want to drop it in the chat so that my professor will be able to look at everything and myself, be able to look at it and give you a fantastic response. Also, if you want to speak, you can just indicate that you want to speak and be able to allow you to unmute your mic and ask your questions for better clarity, okay? But while we do that, we want to make sure that you take advantage of the discount. Make sure you take advantage of the discount because it's initially available to the first 20 people to register, but now it's not 20 anymore, it's 13. Okay, so you want to make sure you take advantage of this discount. Okay, so I will go through the charts to see if we have any questions for myself. And Joshua said the job market space is crazy, right? That is exactly, but okay, my professor has replied you. Okay, okay, so Omishori said I've paid for CS. I'll prefer to start in September, trying to finish on Herald. Okay, so my colleague also have responded to you in the chat. I want to speak. Peter said he wants to speak. Okay, so let me see. I'll be able to get you to speak and ask you to unmute. Peter. Okay, Peter, I've asked you to unmute. You can unmute your mic now.
Okay. I want to ask a question.
Go ahead, please.
During the configuration of the packet tracer, all what she did was on the packet tracer. So how does she links it to physically to our machines, or is it that during the configuration, your physical machines are connected to the router that you have physically through the ones that are going to use the cabling? You've connected your cables and everything to your machines, and then you do the configuration, and then the IPs and all that stuff are being assigned to your physical machines, or you have to do before you connect. So I don't get it. So
Okay,
if you
so
can,
you know how you are building your house, yeah?
yes.
And you have to draw your plans first. You have to
Okay.
have an architect properly align, ascertain, okay, we're going to put this here, we're going to put that here. And then you tell them, okay, make me a model of my house, right? Let me see what it will look like in 3D format. Let me be sure that everything is where I want it to be and it will look nice. Especially when they're building all these high-rise buildings and all of that, and they have to make models, right?
Okay.
That's exactly what Cisco Packet Tracer is. So once you are sure that your setup works in the Packet Tracer, then you can now use the same setup in real time with your live pieces. So then you can now go ahead and say, okay, I can buy 2 pieces because I know how to connect them properly, or I can buy 5 pieces because I think I can use knowledge from the 2 pieces I connected to connect the 5, or I can rearrange it in a way that I would like it better. Do you understand? The goal at the end of the day is to ensure that you are able to translate what you have simulated on the packet tracer into real time, into real life. Do you understand?
Okay. Sure.
Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
That's actually a very fantastic question, Peter. That means while my professor was working on the building the packet tracer, you were really paying attention. That's actually fantastic question. Thank you for that question. Do we have any further questions? Does anybody want to speak and ask questions? Do you have further questions? We can use the indicate that I want to speak, and I'll be able to unmute you to speak. But remember, as you ask your questions, you want to take advantage of the registration. And also, my colleague shared the link to registration form link. She shared it earlier. The purpose of that is after this session, everything that my professor has done using the packet tracer, everything is being recorded. So if you complete that form, you'll be getting the recorded video sent to your email. Then all the slides that we use for this session also, you'll be getting all this information sent to your email. So at your own time, you can just walk through everything that she has done, try to get your hands into this thing. So make sure you complete the attendance form. Then also, so you'll be able to get the recorded video and everything used in this session. Then also, make sure you take advantage of the discounts available to just 13 people left. Make advantage of that, secure your spot, and we'll be definitely happy to take you in class. And if you have confusions, remember, you always have the opportunity when you're uploading the receipt to indicate that you want to speak with a professional, okay? And what that will give to you is to give a better understanding of which career path should you be taking. Which of them is the best option for you? Is it still cybersecurity? Is there another one? This is what we get to look at critically within that session, and we'll be able to guide you to make an informed decision. Okay. All right. So do you have further questions while we try to secure our spots? Do we have questions? So Phil and Mufe, I'm expecting a question from you because you both got a laptop. Phil, Mufe, who else got a laptop? I think Folusho got a laptop. Am I right? I think I'm going to ask Folusho to unmute, Mufe to unmute, Phil also to unmute. Who else got a laptop? My professor, did you give Zainab a laptop? Because I know Zainab was saying she wants to. Did she get?
She got a device.
Fantastic. So Zainab, I'm asking you also to unmute. Do you have any questions? You can unmute your mic now. You can unmute your mic and speak. Phil, you have questions? Phil, your mic is unmuted. Are you able to speak? Okay. So I think Folusho can also speak. Mofetu can also speak. No, we can't hear you. Phil, we can't hear you. Or is that me? Phil, we cannot hear you. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. All right. So while we wait for Phil to fix the microphone issue, do we have questions that want to probably maybe drop in the chat box before we call the session to an end in case we don't have any further questions? Do we have questions? If we have questions, we can use the unmute icon and unmute ourselves so we can speak. Does anybody have questions? Okay. So if we don't have questions, then that means we are all good. Make sure you take advantage of the discounts. My colleague are sharing the link in the chat box. Make sure you take that link, copy it, and try as much as possible to make your initial 150 US dollars. You make that payment, or if you're paying in Naira, that's going to be 255,000 Naira. If you are paying in Canadian dollars, that is going to be 220 Canadian dollars. And if you are paying in pounds, that is just going to be 123 pounds. So immediately you pay this initial payment, you are able to take advantage of the discount and see you joining the class. If you are joining from Europe, anywhere in the European countries, you'll be paying 146 euros. Okay, so you want to make sure you make that initial payment, secure your spot, upload your receipts to indicate that you're starting by July, or if you want to take advantage to start in August, that is also applicable. Then we'll be looking to have you, my professor will be looking to have you in the cybersecurity program, okay? So if there's, at the absence of any further questions, we'll bring the session to an end. Thank you for spending your 1 hour, 41 minutes with me, with us. And I believe we've all gotten value from the program. Have we been able to get value from the program? We can unmute our mic now. I think everybody can speak. Are we able to get value did we get value from the program, or you can drop a chart? Fantastic, fantastic. So thank you for being here. And I'll be looking forward to see each and every one of you in the program starting 5th of July or in August. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. We do well appreciate you. It was actually, yes, Violet, it was a very fantastic, well time spent, okay? So we'll be looking to have each and every one of you in the class or book a session to speak with a professional, and we'll be very happy to have you. In the absence of any further questions, thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of the day. Cheers and bye for now.